5 fitness mistakes that changed my life. Sean here from Fit Fusion Brotherhood, and I've been lifting weights for about 15 years, and if I were to start over again, there's quite a few things that I would absolutely change. So when looking back, I identified 5 big mistakes that I made that really impacted the rest of my life and how I had to exercise. I'm going to do them in reverse order. So 5 is not going to be as bad, whereas 2, 1, 3, those are going to be the rough ones that really affected me. So if you're just starting out, or even if you have been exercising for a while, be sure to watch this video, avoid the mistakes that I made. So if you do enjoy these type of videos, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Number 5, this is going in with an all or nothing approach. Now this one doesn't have many long-term consequences, but it affected me a lot more psychologically than physiologically. So even to this day, I really struggle with this. So I'll give you an example. If I'm looking to set a specific goal, let's just say fat loss, I want to lean out in a few weeks or in a month or two, I typically go way more aggressive than I should. So I'll have the perfect meal plan, I'll have the perfect workout plan, but I'll kind of test it and I'll push myself to see how far I'm able to go and get away with it. So I'll usually increase my workouts, I'll bump up more cardio, and then the next day I'll feel really sore. I'll ignore it, keep going. The next day I'll feel even more sore. Once again, I'll ignore it. And then by the 3rd day, my body's busted and I can't work out, I can't do anything. So I'm very sedentary for days, and then I start feeling like crap. And when I feel like crap, my diet's not as good and I fall off track, and then usually repeat the cycle again every few weeks. So it's not, you're just basically spinning tires if you're trying to go all or nothing. It's much better to do a slow, sustainable, steady approach. Once you have your plan, make sure you stick with it. Don't try to push the limits. Number 4 is blindly copying other people's workouts. So when I first started working out and I had no idea what I was doing, I would look at the fittest person in the gym and see what they were doing and basically copy them. See it happen all the time. Or I would Google a bodybuilder or an athlete or an actor and copy their workouts. Now this might work if you get super lucky, but chances are if you're copying someone else's program without any context, it's not going to be a good idea. Number 1, you don't know where their intensity or experience level is at. Number 2, you don't know specifically what they're training for. Number 3, they might be on some pharmaceuticals that you're not able to recover or lift just as much as they are. And number 4, it's just in general, you might be training for something completely different than they are. So unless you have that background context, it's much better to either do the research yourself. Now there's nothing wrong with finding templates as long as you know that fits your avatar, or actually get a coach yourself and get them to help you out with the program. So even within our Fit Fusion Brotherhood, we only accept certain people that fit our demographic. That way we know our workouts are going to be able to serve them. And even within that program, there are certain elements that change every single week based off the experience and based off their goals as well. So copying people's workouts blindly is better than doing nothing, but it can lead to a lot of issues down the future if you're not really informed. Number 3, this is neglecting warm-ups and mobility work. I feel like such an old man for saying this because I used to be the guy that would laugh when other guys would go to the gym and do warm-ups and a ton of mobility work. I just thought it was a waste of time. And now I'm as stiff as a board and I have to do them, because if I don't do them, something's going to tweak, something's going to hurt. And for me to do a warm-up and mobility work now, it's just to maintain that baseline level that I have. It's not even to get better. So don't neglect this. It might seem like not a big deal at the time, but eventually what happens is, especially if you're lifting weights, those muscles get shorter and tighter, and then you get stiffer and stiffer. And when you're in your 20s, even 30s, it's not the end of the world, but this is going to get much worse before it gets better. So if you were like me and you're not warming up and you're not doing mobility work, start now. Number 2, and this is a big one, that's aggressive dieting. So I would be notorious if I had a vacation coming up to try to see how ripped I can get, how lean I can get for that trip, and I would really push myself. So not just with the workouts, but I would really drop my calories. I would do as much as possible to get as shredded as possible, and I would make it happen. And it's a great feeling when you're on the beach and you look good, but 2 things happen that are going to affect you long term when you do this. Number 1 is you're going to lose muscle. So if you lose weight really fast, it's just a matter of time before you start losing muscle. And in my 20s, I was lucky because I was able to build muscle relatively easily. I had a tougher time losing fat, and I kind of took that for granted. So I lost some muscle just to get leaner, and now I'm paying for it. In my mid-30s, it's much more difficult to build muscle, if at all. And the second thing is you're actually going to slow down your metabolism. So metabolism isn't as genetic as we tend to think it is. It doesn't get affected with age as much as we think it does. Usually when there's an issue with metabolism, it's self-inflicted, and it's when you diet down way too fast, way too aggressively, and then you go back up and down. So now instead of having a much higher metabolism, because I've dieted down so much over the years, my metabolism has dropped as a result. So both of those things have had long-term consequences. Much more difficult to build muscle, and the metabolism is slower than it was before. So if I were to start over, I would do things like I said earlier with number 5, slow, steady, consistent, always go for the long term. Number 1, the biggest mistake I made lifting when I was younger was ego lifting. And this probably isn't a surprise. If you've ever been to a gym before, I'm sure you've seen guys ego lift before. When you're young, it doesn't seem like a big deal. You feel like you're invincible, but you start to get some wear and tear. You beat up your body a bit, and then as you get older, you get some real problems. Now, keep in mind, even when I was ego lifting, I was doing it with good form. So it wasn't even like I was doing it irresponsibly. It would just be way too much weight, way too many reps, not enough recovery. And then I started accumulating all these injuries. My shoulders always messed up, my elbows messed up, my back, which is the worst, knees, a little bit of everything. This is all because I was lifting really stupid when I was younger. I would try to push as much weight as I possibly can, and it has affected me a lot now. That's why I have to value the warm-up and the mobility so much now, because if I don't, I'm just going to be injured 24/7. So you'd be surprised if you've been to a gym before, you'll probably see this. Some of the fittest guys you'll see there aren't the ones that are going the heaviest and doing 1-rep maxes. They're going a little bit lighter. They're doing everything with really good tempo, so really good control and full range of motion. So I know it's super tempting to be that guy who's the strongest at the gym, pushing, going all out. But just remember, just because you don't feel any negative consequences now does not mean that that won't be the case in the future, because I can almost guarantee it will. I've talked to so many guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that tell me about how much they used to lift, and now their bodies are pretty much busted. So don't be that guy. Check your ego at the door. Do things smart. Do things responsibly. So those are my 5 biggest fitness mistakes that I've ever made, and they've all really impacted my life. I'd love to hear if you have your own. Let us know in the comments below so that other people can avoid those same mistakes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.